No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today we're doing something that I've always wanted to do that I tweeted about a couple months ago. And Karmen Karma is helping us make it happen. She's here with her husband.
Yeah.
And I am here with my girlfriend, lady friend, Lena the Plug.
Hi. His name's Alex, by the way.
Alex.
Yeah. Alex.
He has a name.
He has a name. So,
Yeah.
so Karmen, maybe you could introduce us to Alex a little bit, and we can start with a drilling into you guys' relationship a little bit. Maybe that sounds fun, comfortable, right?
Yeah, I'm
Drilling.
down for anything.
Talk about
Carmen
me.
loves drilling.
I've gotten that idea. Oh, see, there's so much innuendo already.
Sorry, I had
The
to.
clap that I did to start this, that almost became an STD clinic.
I started licking the mic.
How'd you guys meet? Let's do that.
So we met at a nightclub, right? Or I guess like at his friend's house that I was actually
Yeah.
going to see hang out with his friend, not him.
You were there to fuck the other Alex.
The other Alex. There was another Alex I was hanging out with.
And I
but then
swooped.
I walked out of the elevator at the apartment, and I just like went right up to my husband now and was like, "Hi, I'm Carmen."
Why? What was it? What was it about him versus the other Alex?
I was black.
You read my mind.
I don't know. He was just like, I just saw
Black.
him right. Yeah. Okay, maybe a little
African
bit.
American, yes. This is it. This is my big opportunity.
But I like wasn't like super. I feel like you were the one more interested in me. He was following me around a nightclub all night. Like we went to a nightclub, and I mean I wasn't really thinking much of it. And then I ended up actually going home in an Uber with his 3 friends or 2 friends. I fucked one of his friends and got fingered by the other 2 before he came back to the hotel.
Yeah, you guys left me at the club.
And
I
I
literally
fucked
went to the bathroom and I came out and the entire table.
and I was in the Uber getting gangbanged, pretty much.
This sounds to me like the kind of night that if I had that night at the club, I would be so bummed that I would go home and eat ice cream.
Right, and
You
then
know,
so
that would be
he
sad.
I was
he went-
determined.
yeah,
I
he
was
went
like,
to the-
This is happening. I put the work in.
Wow.
Literally the leg work in.
But, okay,
chasing
so
her
how
around.
did you feel when she walked up to you? What was going through your head? And how long ago was this?
5 or 6 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
5 years.
And so in your mind, she was like the most banging thing you had set eyes on in a long time?
At the moment, she was a porn star that looked like she was into me.
Okay.
And I honestly, I was like,
And that's all it takes.
His girlfriends before me were like super preppy and like the
Like-
opposite of me.
oh god.
Really?
Yeah.
So you'd been stuck with a bunch of frigid hoes prior to this?
Yes, for lack of a better word. But yeah, I dated like super preppy girls.
Really?
Vanilla.
Like terribly preppy.
Is that because you're coming from this? I mean, you're a military guy, I understand it?
Now, yes.
Now,
But
okay.
I mean, my family was always like not conservative.
Yeah, they are. He's adopted by
Kind of.
like rich white people.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
So like he's raised. So I'm like more of the black one in the relationship, like attitude-wise, like inside. So he's always been like he went to private school and was like a super good boy. So I feel like the most
You
like
corrupted him.
yes,
She did.
but yeah. So I was like super. Really confused why he was dating me when I went and like stalked his social media and saw his like exes.
So was
because I don't.
everybody else.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Where did she come from?
Yeah. I'm-
How? Where? Why?"
So she was like this revelation for you that like, oh, maybe I don't want to live this squeaky clean lifestyle that I've been doing.
It was not so much squeaky clean. It was just like I'd always considered myself like an old school, like romantic kind of guy, like whatever you want to define that as. But I met her and she was just so. The thing that I love about her is that she's so unapologetically herself. Everything that she does is exactly who she's supposed to be, and she doesn't really care what you think. This is what you get. This is who I am. Deal with it, kind of thing.
I like that.
So, and I never met anyone before that was like that. So that was like, I was like, oh, I need to get to know this girl.
Wow. Okay, so there wasn't any part of you that was bothered or in any way upset over the whole thing with her getting essentially gangbanged by a bunch of your friends right
So
before.
I
he
didn't know about that.
No. He came back
This
to
was
the apartment.
This was revealed like years later.
I went outside to smoke. No. You knew I was giving head to 2 of them.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
They didn't text you as it
It
was
was like
happening?
it was
bro.
like
Just a little talk.
It was like after we got married, and you're like, oh yeah, remember the night we met? Like I got gangbanged by a bunch of your friends. I was like, huh?
No, I
Can't take it
saved.
back now.
I saved them. That I fucked that one weird guy.
Oh, Adam.
No, I didn't fuck. Well, I fucked Adam too, but the other guy, I can't remember his name anymore. But he came. I literally went outside to smoke a cigarette, and then you were walking up, and I was like, "Hi," and then we started having sex outside in the balcony as I'm smoking a cigarette.
You started having sex on the balcony with this random guy?
With him, yeah.
Oh,
and
with
then,
him at
no,
the
it's-
same party?
Wait, I thought that was
Yeah.
in a car.
Oh yeah, we had sex on top
That
of
was-
a car. So we started making our way over to your car, right? And we
Yeah.
stopped and we were having like sex on top of a car, and
In the middle of the street.
then he was like, we were driving home. I remember I was sucking your dick in the driver or in the passenger seat, and he was like, "What's my name?" And I was like, "Daddy." He's like, "No, what's my
What's my actual name?
And
Because
I was
you're taking me
just
back to
like,
your
I have
place.
no idea. And you're like, "My name is Alex."
It's like, it's Alex. Continue. So,
Oh, that's so good. I mean, I feel like you would have gone to Alex if you just guessed like the top
Right.
5 most common boy names.
Karmen, where were you at in your life when this was going down? Like when you were showing up at this house, were you just full on party mode, just enjoying yourself, hooking up with
Yeah.
whoever you felt like?
Yeah, this is like the point in my life where I was party girl. Like all I cared about was like doing coke and having sex and not in my head, because I was in the industry for a few years already. I just assumed no one's gonna take me seriously, and I didn't want to date a male performer because I just don't think I could handle it. I don't know if
None
I
of the
would
girls
want
seem
to.
Those
like they
are
want
gay
to
as hell.
date any of the male performers. They're all like, meh.
Right.
They're all bitch boys, right? I mean,
Right.
no offense to the ones that I fuck with and stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of cool ones, but a lot of them are some hoes, right?
Yeah. I've never taken any of them seriously. So I just kind of in my head was like, maybe one day someone will want to marry me, but like maybe not. But I mean, I just didn't think who would take a porn star seriously. But then like since our first, I thought it was gonna be like a one night stand, and then he was just kind of moved
Determined?
in. You just kind of moved in. You were obsessed
well, no,
with
didn't
me.
you think that I was still dating my ex?
Yeah.
Because I've never been like big on social media or anything.
Okay.
So like my ex and I broke up maybe like 4 months before we met. And
Your profile picture was still
I didn't
kissing
delete
her.
anything. I was like, whatever. No,
Profile
Maybe
picture.
I'll
on
say
Twitter,
that.
on Twitter that I never used.
Right, okay.
That I never used.
But you
was
Googled
us.
them and you found it and you were like, in a relationship.
Yeah,
And
but then
she
I still
still
invited
didn't
him over
care.
to have sex again that same night. I was
It
like,
doesn't
well,
sound
here.
like you were going to
Oh,
let
but wait.
girlfriends stop you
Yeah.
at that time, yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna put you out because you deleted this, and I will never forgive you for it. The morning after I left her apartment, and she tweeted, "Just had the best sex of my life." Yada yada yada, all this stuff. It was like a paragraph, and I screenshotted it because that was dope.
You were hyped.
It was hyped. It validated me. I sent it to Donnie.
his friend.
Wait, but so you're out here taking all of this professional, high grade, nuclear level dig that is like, well paid in comparison to some jobs, but then you bang him, and it was actually the best dick you ever took. What was
Yeah,
it?
I think it was just like the excitement of it all. Like you were like choking me on a car and being like, "Who's your daddy?" And I was like so scared. I remember telling him like the next day, I was like, "I thought you were gonna murder me, but I was kind of into it." I was like, "I'll take the risk." I'll take the risk right now. I don't know. There was just something about it. And then when we got home, I had no idea. So he had vanilla girlfriends before me, So we get to my house and I'm like, grab the coconut oil. And he has no idea. I'm like, shove it in my ass. He's never had anal before.
You had never done anal before?
Never.
Wow.
So he was just mind
You're
blown.
making me feel like my life has been so vanilla up until this
Yes,
point. Like,
let's step
babe, we
it
gotta
up.
go home and you gotta almost kill me, please, okay?
I feel bad about banging you on the couch for all these months.
Let's not talk about it.
Wow. Okay. So where does it go from there? Did you get home and immediately search your name on Pornhub?
Yeah, for sure. That was how the afternoon was spent. Kind of like a trophy hunting of sorts.
And it
but
didn't make you like her less. It made you still as interested in her.
I never cared. I thought about this because I knew I was going to get asked. I never cared.
Really?
Not one part of me was like, kind of a red flag, or are you okay with this? I was just like, this is what she does. It's her job.
Yeah, he's never like.
It never bothered me, and still doesn't.
It's so weird, yeah, when I think about it, because like all my girlfriends are like, what? Like, does he have a brother? Like, because it's so hard to find a normal guy that's okay with you. I'll be like giving him a kiss. He's like, okay, have fun at your content shoot, banging this other guy. And it's just,
like
it's
the number
so
one
nonchalant.
complaint from
Yeah.
girls that they can't find guys to date that are gonna also let them have their career. Sorry, is it?
Right, and he's never even.
I'll
I don't
just
think,
do this.
Okay, I don't know what the hell's going on with Mike.
Yeah, like I'm friends with a lot of girls in the industry, and they're just like, "You're so lucky you have a boyfriend," and that he doesn't care about what you do. Obviously, I don't fuck other guys, but if I did, I wouldn't have a boyfriend right now.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, come on, babe.
I'm a very
You're
open-minded
open-minded,
guy.
but you're not that open-minded.
Just
You're
like
not
Alex
Alex
here.
open-minded.
I'm just like Alex. What are you talking about? Okay, but so how did it slowly get more serious, or was it just serious since day one right there?
I think it was, we were more so just kind of like partying together all the time, right?
Yeah, it was like, because I was a promoter at the time.
Oh.
Which she was.
I was not happy about
I know,
that. I was
not
like,
happy.
Best guys are usually club promoters.
The best ones, always.
no. So I
Super
actually, I
stand
remember
up,
I asked
honest.
you the morning after. I was like, so what do you do? And you're like, I was working last night. I'm like, oh.
Oh, God.
You work at the club? Okay, cool. But I mean, like, who am I to judge, right?
Right.
But I just like assume promoters are like not guys I want to.
Douchebags.
Yeah, not guys
Ew,
I want to
gross
date.
promoter, says the porn star. But
The club promoters are at home. Like, God damn it! Like I thought this was a cool job.
I did too. But it was never. There was never like we never had like the talk or like, are we doing this seriously?
I think we were like just kind of fell in love over, and then like once I started wanting to get sober, that's when things got like serious because we got engaged. I'm trying to think. So we got engaged in
May 17th.
maybe like 4 months after I got sober. That's when you asked me to marry you.
Yeah.
So I know he loved me like when I was like super coke whore and crazy, but I was like extreme, like crazy.
Yeah, like how bad was it?
Like,
Compared to
I woke
your
up-
drug addiction.
I woke up
It
at
was
8
bad.
o'clock in the morning. She knows.
She read the book.
I read
for
the book,
record.
so
Can
I
we talk
know.
about the book? Where's the book?
Did you bring it?
I didn't bring a copy of it.
Oh, I thought
Lena
that
has
was going to
one.
be sort of
I
like.
have it at home,
I
but
should've
yeah,
brought it.
I feel like I don't know if I should. Do you care if we talk about what's in the book?
No, not at all.
People don't want to give it away, but
I
I
want to
mean,
know about all of it. Yeah.
but yeah, Carmen was on a drug bender for I don't know how many years.
Yeah, but like bad. Like
Bad.
that morning. What were you gonna say
Oh,
about it?
yeah. I woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and she was bleaching the walls.
I was like on a chair bleaching the walls. I'm like,
with
there's
a sponge
stains.
and like rubbing. Like she's like, it's so dirty, but like she's really just rubbing the paint off the wall.
And that's basically just some weird ass drug shit that you might do enough drugs that you might start scrubbing the walls.
Yeah, I mean, I would text everyone in my phone. Like when he would go to sleep and I would just be like, no way. And I would just stay up. Remember, I'd like post pictures on Twitter of me like shoving vodka bottles in my vagina.
Stuff.
Like
and
I
I'd wake up
would
and
be
there's like
up.
random people in the house. I'm like,
Yeah.
who are you?
I remember you saying it looked like a jail because I would just like invite the worst dudes over.
The worst dude. I was like, what is going on?
But you stayed. That's why I don't know why he stayed with me. You must have seen past the party, like the Karmen persona, because I don't really know anything about that. That would be wifey material.
No, nothing about that was.
No.
I hated that
In
part of it.
sickness and in health.
I
in
was-
sickness
yeah, I
and
was-
sin. I mean,
So
I
you
didn't-
hated the drug addict part and the
I hated the
crack
drug
whore?
addict part because I saw who she was without all of it. So it was like she was regular Amber up until maybe like 7, 8 o'clock. And then the second that first line
Then I'm like,
got snorted,
hey.
she flipped the switch and turns into this coke snorting demon,
Would you just call me Cookie the Clown?
Cokie the Clown.
But were you the reason why she stopped, or what were your thoughts on her stopping? Did you not have it in you to just be like, baby, you need to slow down?
Well, I knew that if I did that, then she wouldn't do it because she was like a toddler when it comes to that. And if you tell her to not do something, she'll do it just to prove you wrong.
Right.
So I think my whole point behind how I handled it was to love her unconditionally and to kind of show her that she's worth something and to show her that she can be loved.
Wow.
And I think that that's what she was searching for.
Yeah, because I tried to get sober. Like I knew I was a mess for
You
a
were
long
searching for a
time.
reason.
you almost died.
Yeah, a
Multiple
couple
times.
times.
How'd you almost die? Tell me about that.
Well, once I just, after like a really long bender, not eating for days and just doing drugs, I had 2 back-to-back seizures.
Oh boy.
And then after that, I think literally 2 weeks later, I overdosed. Well, I was like on all these pills and drugs and booze, and then I just was like, fuck it, I want to die. And I went to Walgreens and just ate a bunch of sleeping pills out there. And then I was like foaming in the mouth, and they took me to the emergency room. And then I woke up and I was on the 5150. Is that what they call it here? Yeah.
What's that?
Where I was like held in a
Involuntary
hospital.
Committed, yeah.
Okay.
And so yeah, just that, like I was pretty much like near death. They had to like roll me in, and I don't really remember any of that. I remember being at the strip, because I was working at the strip club that night, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna leave and I'm gonna kill myself. And yeah, but I had a lot of health scares and stuff like that. So it was like not like just partying, like fun stuff. Like for years I knew like I need to stop, but I just couldn't. And I think I started feeling bad because I remember when we'd wake up in the morning, I would like feel me waking up and I'd just be so guilty. I didn't even want to open my eyes because I knew he would always be like, you would always be nice about it. You'd be like, last night, remember you made out with that guy in front of me, and like, you left me. I chased you around
in the club, and my boss yelled at me.
No, your boss yelled at me for eating.
Your best friend out in the middle of the dance floor.
Wait. That just went down. Just eating some pussy on the dance floor.
Yeah, before it was open. Really though, it was like
there was no one in the club. It was like
and I had my friend on the floor.
We just opened doors.
Empty club.
So it's not like 3 a.m.
No, it's like maybe like 9
No,
p.m.
it's
and
like
I'm eating her out.
9:30. Like the doors just open. There's no one in the club. Like the DJ's not even like playing his actual set.
The
And she
Karmen
just
I
has
know
her
will
on the
still
back.
do this right now.
Oh, she will.
Oh, totally. Yeah,
When you say it wasn't open, so at first you guys were aspiring to be committed to each other, and then that didn't work out, or what was that like?
well, we always just I consider work not cheating. That's just how it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like we only had sex with each other up until recently. Like our whole relationship, like we never had threesomes or anything like that. It was just only had sex with him in my private life up until like a year ago. And
then what happened?
And then
You're
we
like, "I
started
need
talking.
more."
Well, when I was retired, so I quit to have get married. Well, we got married, and then I quit like a year after that. Like when we got married, we never had a talk like, okay, you got to stop performing, or you got like I was even escorting at the time, and he never said like you got to stop that. It was just. He was just marrying me how I am.
So you just didn't give a shit, or you just knew that you couldn't really say anything because she wouldn't respond well to it,
About her perperforming?
or about the escorting, or about any of that stuff that we I think that's like the part that the random dudes who are watching this right now are the most interested in, is because I just get those comments constantly, even about her who doesn't actually fuck anyone else.
Right.
People hit me up nonstop. How do you feel about your girl coming home with sweaty black cock on her breath? And so I could just imagine what
Right.
just what
I'm
people are
actually doing
faking
it.
about out there,
I mean, so if for all the other guys out there, if you don't think that your girl would love to get with a dude who's literally his job is to have great sex on camera, then you're lying to yourself.
Really?
I think that if when she goes and performs with other male talent, I'm like, great, she's having a great time.
Like I don't have to do it.
Like exactly. I was like, I was talking to Rob today. I was like, thank God. I was like, she says you are literally the best pussy eater out there.
You said that to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
Rob
was like-
Piper.
And I was like, oh my God, how could
Rod
she
Piper.
say that?
I was like, thank you. Because when she comes home, she's a different person. So
Right.
it's just
Wow.
like I never cared.
Right.
I never cared. It's not. I don't feel like I own her. I don't think I'm in possession of this person. I don't know.
You just
She's-
you never been jealous like when you watch my trailers and stuff?
No.
Really?
I critique your trailers.
Asshole.
Wow, really? So what
I
kind of
do.
stuff stands out to you? Like, oh, why
Just
are you...
like body positioning, or I'll recognize like a position that she came home after the scene and was like, oh, I hated that. I was like, yeah, I could tell you hated that.
Well, one time when I remember you said that you were pissed at me one time when you watched like anal scenes I hated. To like get back at me, so he's like
yeah.
jerking off to scenes he knows I didn't enjoy.
Whoa, how'd you know she hated him? You could just tell?
I
no,
tell
she'd
him.
come home and she'd tell me.
I tell him everything. Like, so I come home, I'm like, that was great. That was fucking awesome sex.
It's like that meme that you see. It's like when your girl's a porn star and she comes home and she had a great day at work.
Right, yeah,
And that
yeah.
guy's face is like, eh. Yeah, but
no,
except I don't care.
I remember like my first interracial DP,
Mm-hmm.
he showed up to set with like a dozen of donuts to congratulate me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like dapping up the dudes and saying, hey, like he's been on set with me while I've recorded content. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know. You're just like the one in a million guys I feel like could handle that.
Yeah.
Would you describe it as a cuck type relationship where you're actually turned on by seeing her get digged down by other guys?
No, I don't. It's not that.
No, definitely not, because he won't have a threesome like with two guys with me.
Really?
No.
Why not? Because you
I don't
just
know.
can't find the right guy?
I'm just not there yet. Am I saying that it's never gonna happen? No, but I'm just not there.
You can watch it, but you can't be
mentally.
involved.
I can watch it, but I can't be involved.
Okay.
Exactly.
I like
So-
that you're on like this spiritual journey of discovering yourself through this process.
I mean, I feel like I'm more in touch with like who I am, and I think that it's like, not to say that I'm some like crazy freak or whatever, because I'm definitely not. But like, I think our relationship is definitely out of the norm,
Yeah,
think
I mean, even for porn, it's out of the norm that you're so okay with everything and you're not a cuck. Because that's what people always say on my stuff, like, "Oh, your husband must be a cuckold." And
yeah, and I'm
but
like, I'm not
he's
in
not.
like the closet like watching. I'm not like I don't know.
No,
I just don't think that's not my thing. My thing, if anything, is I appreciate watching her do something that she's good at and that she gets paid well for.
Right.
And I think that, I mean, everyone wants to enjoy what they get paid to do.
Definitely.
And so I'm envious. Like my job at times is awful.
Really?
So-
Sometimes I'm like, I have to get fucked in the ass all the time. He's like, I get fucked in the ass at work all the time. And I don't
Every
make
day.
money like you. But I mean, like when he was deployed, because this is before I came back to porn. He left for 7 months, like right when our daughter was first born.
No dick for 7 months.
Right. So I was like dying. And so he hit up my favorite male performer at that time when he was on a boat on Twitter and was like, "Hey, can you go dick down my girl?" So literally one day, without warning, I get a knock on the door and it's Prince Joshua just standing there. And I'm like, what the
Your husband sent me.
That's what he said. And my husband bought me a hotel room to go have sex with him while he's deployed. Like,
You were
Wow.
different. You were a very special man.
Because I was like, look, because you hear about, especially in the military, you hear about all this like Jody back home. Like,
what's Jody?
it's like the guy that fucks your girl while you're gone in deployment.
Just sort of a general name for this
Just
guy.
the general
Right.
name is Jody. So I was like, why not just like, because I know you you can't go that long in a drought without freaking out.
Getting mad.
Without getting mad.
At
So
the
I was
very
like,
least.
I'm already gone. You're getting mad at me for being gone. I was like, let's just.
So is it because you think I'm gonna cheat on you anyways? So you just
No, I didn't
Give
want you
me-
to. I didn't want you to be tempted to. So I was like, if it's going to happen, I want to be in control of it happening.
I don't know if I could be like, see, I don't know if I could feel the same way. I was telling you when he was on deployment, I'm like, go find girls. Like,
You couldn't send a girl over to fuck him? That would bother you, even though it doesn't seem to bother him?
no, I don't think it bothered me anymore because like we do scenes like with my friends and stuff, and I love seeing because I'm like such a lesbian that like I'd be more mad. Like I want to join, like I want to eat pussy, but like now I think I'm so secure in our relationship and we trust each other and just that doesn't bother me anymore. Like I don't feel the jealousy or anything like that.
That's a beautiful thing, because I'm going to be honest with you, I being an average guy, there are things when you're dating a girl that you know about that she did before you even met her that can kind of like work its way into your brain and you're trying
Right.
not to think about it. Lena, I'm not going to say anything in particular, but there's like a few
I had no past before I met Adam, or at least I have to act like I did it.
yes, and I
I was a
appreciate that.
virgin before you. Clearly, I only
Thank
had a
God for
girlfriend
that.
for 4 years.
I
That's
mean,
all I did.
no, I love that actually, because I'm not threatened by that at all. That's great.
I know.
Yeah.
I think that's hot.
I would have loved if you had been in a girl-on-girl relationship for your entire life prior to me.
I had 2 boyfriends before you, 1 month each in high school.
I know.
You're so innocent.
That's awful.
And it bothers him.
I could say he's angry.
kill those
He's
guys.
holding it
He
back
wanted to
right
go to
now.
prom
He's
with
so
you.
mad.
I'm not mad.
Wait,
Oh, shit.
I just want to say that I read in your book that you stabbed a guy once for liking someone else's Facebook status. So how is it that you're okay watching your husband fuck other girls
So,
now?
do you
I
love how
just met him too.
Yeah, we went to my 10-year reunion, and my high school boyfriend was there, and literally, okay. So first of all, let me say the backstory. So I was a fucking crazy person in high school. Like that's when I like really had my issues, and I was so jealous. And
You were getting down real hardcore in high school, I'm
oh
assuming.
my god, yeah.
Tiana Taylor told us she fucked the whole basketball team. You ever go that hard?
The entire football
Trump.
team.
Yeah, it was
Trump, not
it was
Taylor,
football.
sorry.
It was football.
Oh, it was football. Okay.
Yeah. But my
Throw
high
that
school
pigskin
boyfriend.
around.
But my high school boyfriend, like, I was just mentally unstable at that time, and I was like, what? And it was like a post about like school, something.
It was
about
like wasn't it like for like your school like singing
talent show,
competition
yeah.
or talent competition?
Yeah.
he
and-
liked this tweet.
He liked this like Facebook status, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I went to scare him with this, like I was carving an apple, and then like I went to like scare him, and he went out to grab it, and I stabbed him right through here. So literally, when I see him at my 10-year reunion, the first thing I could think of to say, remember, I was like, remember when I stabbed you?
She goes, hey, remember when I stabbed you? Do you still have the scar?
What he said.
This is after she ran to the bathroom after seeing him and gave herself a pep talk
I was nervous.
for like 5 minutes, and then comes out and she's like, okay. And her opener was, hey, remember when I stabbed you?
And what did he say?
He's like, yeah. He was not interested in talking at all.
Wow, he didn't think it was funny. He's probably in therapy over that.
Yeah, how many
No.
girls do you think he was able to have like healthy relationships with after you?
No,
offense.
yeah, no, I know. And we talked later that night too, and I said, remember, I was like, I feel really bad about everything. He's like, yeah, we are young, but I'm not gonna lie, you really did your damage. I'm like, fuck.
Wow.
Yeah.
So high school, your high school years, would there have been? Were you thinking about becoming an adult star when you were in high school?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, like I remember finding porn when I was in, I want to say like 6th grade, and seeing a magazine, and I knew like instantly I wanted to do that. But I started webcamming in high school when I was still 17.
Oh boy.
Because I would go on like, remember like Cam 4? It's like a free cam site, and you can just go on it. So I would tell all the guys like, hit me up on MSN, but I would tell them I'm 18, and then they pay me through PayPal, and then I do like little shows in my room. So I picked up the name Karmen back in senior year. And so I was webcamming for a while, but the whole reason I didn't do porn right away, I remember talking to Spiegler when I was 8. I was blonde and 18 with no tattoos, and I was talking to Spiegler, and he wanted me. And then I was too nervous because my dad is so religious, like conservative.
You don't need a dad when you go Spiegler.
Yeah, right.
Spiegler's
But I was
daddy.
trying to be I was trying to contain my ho-ness for a long time. And I kind of wish I would have just done it then. But I waited like 3 years. I went stripping first, and I was like, maybe that will just satisfy me. But then I kept wanting to do more and more. So finally I was like, well, fuck it. Hopefully he still loves me, but I'm going to do what I want to do.
Does he still love you?
Yeah.
The fact that he walked in on you camming kills me. Like
At what age? You were like real young doing
I think
this?
I was finally 18 when this
Okay.
happened, but
I
it was
died.
like
I died reading that part of the book.
oh my
I
God.
could
So I'm
not.
like webcamming, like face down, ass up with the dildo, like just getting my thing on. And someone had
Sorry, Pop.
someone had traced my IP address, found it on the internet to my home phone number, called my home phone number, and whispered to my dad, I'm watching your daughter fuck herself. So my dad, we live in like a really old house, just like bust open the door, and there I am. And he was like, get dressed and come to my room. And then I was just like mortified. I was like, I need to get out of here.
What do you do
Knowing
as a
your
dad
dad.
in that situation?
My dad found my Instagram 3 years ago, and I couldn't look him in the face for like a year.
And that was just booty pictures. That was
I
before you
mean-
started doing anything.
Exactly.
I remember in
shit.
10th grade, a guy in my school sent my dad one of my nudes. And he literally just opened his phone and had a nude of his, however old I was then, 15, 16.
Kids could be so cruel. Why would you send that to your dad? What the fuck?
Well, my dad knew, I remember he knew the first time I was sexual was when I was 7. And I had sex with 3 girls. Like we had like a sleepover, and we all were like scissoring each other. And then one of them felt bad
7?
and
Just
told their
casually.
mom on me and was like, she forced us all. I did not force. We were all doing it, okay?
probably
But then I remember my dad sitting me down. He's like, you will go to jail if you ever do that again. So I mean, I don't think he was.
Everything's about going to jail when you're that age. Your parents always tell you you're gonna go to fucking jail.
So I don't think he was surprised, because literally since I was in first, or I think that was 2nd grade, since 2nd grade, I literally was getting in trouble for being sexual.
Really? Even in school and stuff, just jerk somebody off behind a slide.
Well, it was like really into girls at that time, but I remember I got put on the wall at recess because me and this girl, we were showing each other vaginas in like the corner of like the school building, like outside by the wall, and they were like, get on the wall, and we got in trouble. But it was always getting in trouble with girls.
I'm gonna be honest with you. In my entire time doing this podcast, I don't think anybody has ever mentioned the idea of a orgy by a bunch of 7-year-old girls.
We were watching Titanic.
I feel like
Really pushing at the edges here.
no, but like you guys never had all female
Oh,
sleepovers as kids. I feel like there's
You're
always
right.
a degree of like my mom would come into my room when I was like 8, and I'd sleep over with my best friend, and she would always wonder if we were touching each other because we're
Really?
giggling. And
Girls
like,
just do that?
I mean,
I did.
Wow.
Dude, sleepovers is not.
No, I've never thought about jerking off the homie.
Never. Not ever.
I never touched
Play
a
video
girl, but
games,
I'm just
eat
saying,
pizza, and
like,
pass out.
it gets really intimate when you're that young and you're having a sleepover with a bunch of girls. You guys, what do you guys want to talk about? You want to talk about sex, obviously.
Yeah, and like every like truth or dare is like, I dare you to kiss
Kiss
her.
her. I dare you to touch her.
You know what? I remember a lot of when I was a young man and we'd have sleepovers, a lot of farting.
A lot of, it was like
Yeah, I'm
daring
not
to fart.
surprised
Yeah, yeah.
considering you every day in the house.
Still a
so.
big part of my life.
It is definitely.
Holy shit. So, okay, the stripping didn't satiate whatever you were looking for in life, but then getting into the porn world, what did it make you feel that you were lacking beforehand?
I loved it. It was just, I think I thought about it for so long too, and it was something I just knew I wanted to do. And then when I did it, and I felt like I love performing. Like I love people watching. So that's why I did like stripping too. I like people performing, but I had no like morals against having sex with people. So I was like super excited to do that, and I just loved the feeling, and I loved like knowing it was going to be on the internet for everyone to watch, and I felt like it was like the perfect job for me. I don't know, it just made me very high. It was almost like a high, like when you get done performing and then you just know you like killed that scene, got face of cum, you're like, I rocked that shit.
And a check.
Huh?
And a check.
And a check, yeah.
He's
yeah,
like, hey, babe, you are getting paid. I'm just doing this for fun.
No, it's just like, but that was the thing that I really wanted to explore my sexuality. And like in real life, you can't, it's really hard to get like 8 guys and be like, hey guys, can we do a blow bang here? Or like, it's
That's
hard
not
to
hard.
say. Really?
My staff, I think we'd all be down.
You guys ready?
I mean, I don't know. Tony got a girlfriend. Michael in front, I think, would definitely get down. Security guard, I think, would get down.
There we go.
There's 2.
Turn off the cameras.
Maybe not your employees, babe.
YOLO, I'll throw myself in. Sure, why not? Do you think there's a lot of girls who are just sort of sitting around just wondering why it's so hard to organize a blow bang in their personal life, and that's why they get into porn?
I mean, I feel like these girls are really sexual. Like the good performers, I feel like are sexual in their personal life. And that was one thing, like I really wanted to have a DP. I wanted to do group sex. And it's hard. Even when I was like a slutty ass stripper, I still wasn't in positions of like more than a threesome. And I really wanted to experiment, and I it was perfect because I was getting paid to do it at the same time, and it's all organized, and you get all these like hot people who are tested, and it's all put together for you.
Right.
I'm so terrified at the idea of a DP. I cannot believe.
Oh, girl, that is
Every
the
girl that I
best
talk to is
feeling.
always like, it's better than anal.
It is.
I'm like, it
It
sounds
is.
terrifying.
No, like the 2 at the same time, it's just like.
Anal +1.
And you love it because you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, you just sit there and they just like pound you, and you're like, yes.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Just being a girl having sex in general, you don't have to do anything.
What do you?
On
Why are you
porn,
looking
you
at me
do.
like that?
in real life, like he does all the work. I'm like just laying there.
Everyone's like, what's it like to have your wife as a porn star? And you get that, you have to fuck a porn star every day.
But do you guys have boring ass sex?
The most boring,
we didn't used to.
the most boring sex ever once every 3 weeks.
Really?
Alex!
Is it really that dry?
No, sometimes.
Well, think about
sometimes.
it like this. Think about it like this. For example, I do IT stuff. So when I come home, the last thing I want to fucking do is fix the router.
Yeah.
So when she comes home,
It does get like
the
that,
last
yeah.
thing she wants to do, it's like, hey, babe, how to blowjob? Nah, not today.
Wow. See, that's what it's like
So
to
it's
be
like-
her. She gets home and I don't want to talk. It's like, babe, I've been talking on camera for 8 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. I get that for sure. I always just tell him like, well, one day I'm gonna retire, and then you get all this pussy.
You said
But
that, you said that
remember-
yesterday.
Yeah, but remember, like when we first started dating, we were having like crazy ass sex. Like I would have him hold like a knife to my throat.
Yeah, we got complaint. Your landlord thought that you were
A
being
girl
assaulted.
was being assaulted, but
in
I
your
was just
apartment.
no. That's when we were playing rape, though.
Oh yeah.
A girl was being assaulted. She was just
Yeah, but she was
in
liking
on
it.
It was consensual assault.
Right. But so wait, what were you saying?
Nothing. I was just gonna get mad at you for giving me the death stare earlier.
What?
You're like, yeah, when you're a girl, you don't have to do any work, and you just look at me. And I'm like, have I been not having good sex lately? Do you want to tell me something?
Apparently, I
babe?
haven't.
I'm just saying that if I'm gonna fuck for a half hour, it's like basically like me doing like a workout routine.
We never
except
fuck
it's-
for half an hour.
Well, that's why. Because I'm too tired. Yeah.
Shots fired.
It's a long day at work.
Don't act like it's that much work.
We bank rap.
In porn scenes,
I'm about to
though,
start a timer.
there you go. Do you want to do that? Though?
30:01. It's gonna be like a YouTube video. It's 10:01.
And I'm gonna start timers on my BJs because I go down for a long ass
Right.
time.
That's easy. That doesn't take any work on my part.
What? We can't breathe.
his
Yeah, straight up.
No, but like in
Blowjobs are
porn
lots of
scenes,
work.
I feel like it's all the girls work in porn. Like, cause
Oh,
the
yeah.
guys just kind of sit back, like we have to ride this way, right? I get way more exhausted in porn scenes.
I feel like the good male talent
but even
puts in work.
But they're not doing teases. You know, girls do so
Yeah.
much. They're
That's
doing the
true.
lead up.
porn
they're-
is so exhausting.
and the
Yeah.
facials, like guys don't really have to care about what facials they're making. They make sure they look cute at every angle with spit
Yeah.
all over their face. I mean, I don't do it, but
They
I
don't
see
show the
it.
dude's face. That's one thing I like about porn these days is that they don't do the shot that's just all male butthole
dude.
and balls. It used to be
Yeah.
like that when I was a kid. It was like the worst angles.
They try to avoid that now. They'll be like, "Oh, asshole! Like,
Yeah.
move your position." Like, they want to avoid that, like,
Just
which
the,
is good.
the ball slapping butthole angle.
Yeah.
I guess because she's constantly trying to coerce me into doing adult films, and I guess that's one thing I could say about
It
it.
doesn't take that much coercion.
Okay, but I mean, like the real deal is that you almost never see the guy's face. I mean, granted,
rare.
I'm not anonymous at all because of the tattoos and stuff. It'd be very clear it's me, but like you don't really see the guy's face.
Yeah.
I do have a flabby ass, though.
I love your ass.
Really?
Aw.
He never lets me eat it. Okay, let's not turn this
Ticklish. I
podcast.
start squirming around. It feels weird.
I have some questions here. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Let me
'cause-
review.
But before you even get into those, I do want to ask this. What made you want to write a book?
I just feel like when it's almost like I don't even believe that I used to live the life I used to live. So like even talking about it with him, like thinking about it, I'm like, it's like a whole nother life. And I just feel like, well, being so open on social media for years, like I was really big on Tumblr. Remember like Tumblr days?
Yeah.
And all the girls that still follow me from them, it's a lot of like females just be like, oh, you really helped me get sober just from like watching me get sober. Or like certain things like you help me like not care anymore and be myself. And I felt like, okay, well, if I'm already like helping people when I'm just posting my story on social media, if I write a book, one, it was like super therapeutic. And it was like, even I was just listening to my audiobook on the way here. I was like trying to listen and I would keep forgetting it's me because I just can't believe that was, because now I'm so like, I still shoot content and stuff, but I'm so like mommy, like the majority of my life is like mom and wife. Doing that. So I forget like, oh my God, like my whole life used to be cocaine and like I just literally saw no future for myself. Like in the book, I'm just like, I'm writing it. I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't die like when I tried to kill myself because I would have never seen any of this stuff happen. I just really never thought there'd be anything good that would come out of anything.
If it wasn't for him, would you be dead or still addicted to drugs right now?
Honestly, I think I'd still be doing coke because after I met you, that's when I like started taking things seriously. And then when I told him I wanted to stop doing drugs, and it was really hard. But I did it without like a program or without rehab or anything. We just started going to the gym, and he started teaching me how to lift weights, and we would do that. And you quit your club job just because he got sober with me, even though he didn't have an addiction, and like everything was just like he could do it like the normal partier, like, but
Right.
I was like out of control, where it was like ruining my whole life, and he just got sober with me, and it was really easy to have someone, and he was such a supportive partner that it was really easy. I don't know. It was just like the first time it was the first like guy that ever treated me right, first of all. And it just made me finally see like, okay, maybe I could have a future, because before I just didn't give a shit.
Right.
I'm just like, I was basically like, didn't think that anyone would want to be with me. And I was just like, yeah, I get it.
Sounds like you were living like you hated yourself at a certain point.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely didn't see my life ever. I never thought I could get sober, first of all, because it would be so frustrating to myself. Like 3 days and I'm like fiending, and it was just, I just never thought it'd happen. And then now being like a mom and everything, and that's like my sole purpose. It's just a different life.
Yeah, how much does that change your life?
A lot.
Yeah,
I love her
imagine.
so much. Yeah.
A lot of people too. That's like one thing they're gonna have a hard time wrapping their head around. They're gonna be like, "How are you doing this? And you got a kid and stuff." Is there any kind of conflict in your mind about that? Or?
Yeah, I actually wasn't gonna come back to porn. Remember that? I was like, when I quit, I had my baby and I had no like plans to return. My husband was the one that was telling me, just do it.
Right.
Because like he said that he felt like a part of me was missing, right? That's what I remember
yeah.
you saying. Because I was trying to be a good girl so bad, and I was trying like, I already lived the whole life, blah blah blah. But it just,
And she just looked like she was gonna explode.
Really?
Like the
It would
whole
start
time.
coming out?
It was like Betty Homemaker, and then you'd see like Betty Homemaker wants to murder someone.
Because you
Wow.
got rid
But it
of
was-
your high of doing drugs, but then you also got rid of the high of just the sex life. So it's
Yeah.
like you cut off all of the parts of your identity or things that were part of your identity for so long, right?
yeah. But I mean, I struggled like I wanted to come back, but it was more so like, well, what are people going to think that I'm a mom? And like, what will my baby think one day? And then I was kind of like, well, but the only thing I care about is her getting teased one day. But the way we talked about it is they're already going to tease her because they're going to say she was a porn star. You know, by the time she's old enough to realize what that is, I won't be doing it anymore. So it's still going to be in the past. But whether I keep doing it or I did it then, like they're still going to say your mom
Still
was
out
Karmen
there.
Karma. Yeah.
I really don't think in 2038 that your mom having been a porn star is going to be that big of a deal anymore.
Right. I'm
Because
hoping.
I
Think
hope
about
not.
how many girls we know now that have private snaps, or at least that post nudes, or they post photos with their ass. Imagine what that's going to be like in like 18 years when your daughter is like
Right.
legal and an adult and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, is that everything's more normalized and the stigma's not all there. But that's the only thing I really worry about, is her getting teased. I know we're gonna raise her to be not ashamed of it. Like we want to be like not obviously we don't want to be like go be a thought, but like like, I want her to be able to be open with me, and I'm going to be like super transparent to her and tell her my past and everything. I'm not going to hide it in any way. I'm going to be the one to tell her what I did before.
See, now I'm thinking about the fact that her high school classmates are watching this in the future. Whoa, that's
I'm not
crazy.
ashamed, motherfucker.
Hey, let me tell you, 2019, pretty good year. Don't hate on 2019. Wow.
What if she wakes up one day and she's like, Mom, I want to be a stripper? What are you going to say?
I would be supportive because, like, I obviously wouldn't want her to do that because I know all, like, the bad stuff that comes along with it. But I definitely wouldn't make her feel ashamed like my family made me feel. Like, I felt like I still can't talk to my dad about what I do for a living because I know the judgment there. So I think I would just love her and give her, like, that trust, like, she can tell me. So that way I can at least try to keep her safe.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, because you're like proud of it and you're really positive, and I'm not ashamed of what I do either. But it's kind of a weird thing when I think about like if my daughter wanted to do it.
Right.
I guess I would be concerned about her safety, but it's so hypocritical to be like, oh,
Yeah.
you can't do this, but I did it.
Well,
and
I
it's
was
paying for
like,
your
yeah,
life.
yeah. Well, that's why I'm like saving so much money for her college because I'm hoping like I'm gonna be giving her like, here you go, you can go straight to college, and I'm from
I
like
went to
a
college
super
though.
you did?
Yeah, I graduated. I almost went to graduate school. I have a degree, so it's like.
The hoe was burning inside.
I mean, I wouldn't even say like I feel like we both have very different views about it. Like you do the sex thing and the porn thing because it's like your best versions of yourself are coming out and you really love it. I'm still more shy and like timid and you've seen me. We worked
Yeah,
at
it's doing
the
it for
time.
money.
I am doing it for
Greedy bitch.
money.
Yeah, of
but
course.
I mean, whatever. So many girls are doing it for money, but I don't like hate it when I'm doing it. Like I do enjoy it, but I'm not burning to do it, you know? I'm not like booking myself out like crazy because I fucking have to do it.
But see, like I've always, from the second I knew what it was, I've just wanted to be so sexual. I wanted to do porn. Like the money was always like secondary to me. Like I always was just like, I just want to do porn, which is really weird because most girls do say they do it because
As a last resort.
not
Or like
even a last
fallback.
resort, but like they want to get the money for it and they aren't really into it. But I was like wanting to find these sexual experiences, and I like the attention.
Man, because let me tell you, like, if you are trying to indulge your sexual experience or desires or whatever, I kind of feel you on the whole porn thing because while we were in London, me and Lena tried to like meet up with some random girls that we've been on Instagram and like hang out with them and like go out for some.
Groupie bitches who tried to use us, okay?
We thought that it was just like understood, like you're hanging out with us, we're gonna go out and get some drinks and then we're gonna hook up. And these
Right.
girls were like trying to buy Coke at 4 a.m, and I'm like, man,
Trying to get
I
us to
did
buy
not
tables.
Yeah, trying to get us to buy tables at the club.
club.
Oh my
Because I've been
God.
with her like basically the entire time that I had money, quote unquote. So
Right.
people are always like, oh, do you ever feel like girls are using you to like blah blah blah? I'm like, no, I've never felt like that at all because I ain't giving a bitch a fucking dollar.
Right.
These chicks were fucking really thinking that we were gonna buy like $1,000, $2,000 tables and bottles at the strip club.
You and I barely drink. If we bought a $2,000 table with a bottle, like we would get like an ounce of it and then
Yeah.
be like done. So I'm like, I'm not buying these girls bottles.
We
I don't
actually
know.
did get pretty drunk that night, but that made us like, oh, like why the
This
fuck
is why
are-
we fuck porn girls.
Yeah, why
Exactly,
are we
it's
trying to
straight to the
indulge
point.
our fucking desires to get freaky with these random ass hoes? Like, if you go to the stripper world, the escort world, the porn star world, I feel like you're way better able to like find people that get it.
I agree because remember we were looking for a threesome on Tinder for so long and it's not gonna happen. So
Really?
we just set up content shoots and be like, you want to shoot content with my man?
Yeah.
Boom, threesome. It's just, like you don't have
here
to
I
like
am.
wine and dine them. You don't have to like like wonder if it's gonna happen. Like it's
Exactly.
just planned sex.
The question, like this fucking girl, oh my god, in Chicago, waited in line at this
Oh,
meet
man.
and greet with her friends, and then her friends
Drag
left her.
her.
I
Drag
am dragging
her.
her. No offense, you're a cute
Drag
girl,
her.
but your friends are not looking out for you because they cock block the fuck out of you. But this girl waits in line at this meet and greet.
I don't know if we could
so,
put on the friends. I feel like it might be her fault. The friends might have been a decoy. But
Let me
continue,
finish
yeah.
the story. But anyway, she waits in line and she's like, I just want to have a threesome with you guys. I feel like it'd be a great first threesome. So I get her information, which like she's lucky I was on board because a lot of times girls come up to us and I don't think they're cute, and I thought she was
Right.
cute.
And if you're standing in line for a meet and greet, I'm not gonna lie, that sort of makes us less likely to do it because the fan
Fangirl.
thing can
Fan
get kind of
thing.
weird with like the power dynamic and everything.
yeah.
I looked at her Instagram. I'm like, okay, she's in college. She wants to experiment, whatever. So we're like DMing and texting all weekend. And I go and buy liquor. I shave my fucking labia. And she's like acting like she's gonna come over. And then she's like, okay, actually, I'm really sorry, but my friends told me that they won't let me back into the dorm if I leave, so I can't. I have class at 9 tomorrow. And I'm like, your friends are cock blocking you. They're not good friends.
We
Dump
like
them.
pregame fucked for
Yeah,
this. We
that's
like did a quick bang just so that I would be like fully
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
zone.
charged up.
I love the pregame, you know? If we broke up and I was like going on a first date, I am pregaming because I don't trust myself down there if I'm not fucking dried
Yeah.
out already, you know? It's tough.
Gotta get it out. I mean, I have to do the same thing. When I think about the threesomes we're gonna have, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get one out, Lena.
Do you really?
Yeah, I get so turned on by the prospect of
that's hot.
having the threesome that
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
at
But you're
home,
not. But you don't have that finite resource inside of your body that is important for the content. Like the content doesn't really go
I'm
anywhere.
too excited. I can't go about my day. I have to fucking orgasm, babe.
But so is that your dick on Twitter sometimes?
You gonna go look at
Wait,
it?
we can't say that because the Navy.
Right.
So it's
So, no.
No,
Nope,
it's not.
nope.
It's a dildo.
It's a dildo.
It's Rod Piper.
Rob.
There you go.
Rob. Whatever, yeah.
It is.
Could you imagine if I tweeted so and so is the best pussy eater in the world and it wasn't you? This is what she did. I'm sorry. This is absolutely insane to me. In the best way.
I wonder how many other people thought that. I didn't even think about that. Sorry, babe.
I know you didn't. It's okay.
But I mean,
No, the Navy.
Was I lying?
I'm assuming the Navy's not
don't
down with
know.
Kush. No.
yeah, no Navy
No
Kush.
Kush for the Navy. Hey, Cash Money is an army. Better yet, a Navy. And when I think about the word Navy, I just have to say that. I'm sorry. Okay. But yeah, so that doesn't bother you that she said that some other guy is the best pussy eater in the world? I guess at some point, that seems like a fair thing to just admit. It would be like if I was really into playing basketball and you would still have to be like, well, Kobe, though.
You know how many, not lies, but every day on
Jordan.
cam, people try to ask me questions like, what's the biggest dick you've ever seen? Who's the hottest guy? And every time I'm just like, Adam 22, Adam 22.
You've had
Adam
bigger
22.
dicks than me. Damn.
I don't even know. I don't remember the fucking dicks I had in my life. I had zero, obviously, before
Right.
you. Clearly, I was a virgin. But, you know, if someone's like, who's the hottest? Who's your celebrity crush? I'm like, Adam 22. Like, I just fucking always say it to you.
You
You're
know,
such a good girl.
My whole life I've
very
been having
hello.
girls tell me that I have a big dick or whatever, but then like I dated this one girl for a couple months and like she at one point like just kind of like referred to me as if I had a really small dick and I'm like, wait a minute, and then she just told me like
your whole world.
She's like, do other girls think it's big? I'm like, I would say yeah, and she's like, oh, because like the other guys, I've only been with like 2 other guys besides you, but yeah, they were way bigger. And I was like,
God,
damn,
straight
I'm like,
to your face.
she just told me straight up, and I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, if they were way bigger than mine, then you've got some fucking taste because you've got some massive cocks. I feel like mine's like solid. If they were both way bigger, I'm like, man, you hit it out of the park. You know how to pick them.
You got a solid cock.
Thank you.
I fucked Adam with Lena before.
Okay, elephant in the room. Let's talk about it.
So we've had sex before, guys.
Yeah, how was that?
That was a lot of fun. I love when you get, like, when I get like a big booty girl. Like when there's dick and pussy, that's like the best combination for me.
I always say she's my favorite girl to work with. Just fuck. Because there's like your energy and you're just like, it's so obvious to me that you like girls.
Yeah. Yes.
That was a situation in which I should have pre-gamed.
I mean, you didn't really have that much time. We had like an
You were
hour
loving
on the
it,
clock.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
we
a
were
good
in a
time.
rush. But also, it's a good feeling when guys were like that, because you're like, yeah, this pussy good, huh?
Oh yeah, that's true. I remember that. That was fun.
He would be like, no, no.
Remember that next time I'm about to buzz in like 35 seconds.
Just think your pussy
18.
18 seconds. Timing it. Look at the time.
1801.
So like, but you were actually waiting in the car when we all had that threesome, right? Was that? What do you think about? What's going on in your head? Are you just chilling, listening to a podcast, no big deal, or what?
I was like, where am I gonna eat? It's so normal to me.
Yeah, I get in the car. He's like, how was it? I was like, so
truly
good. I
don't
love
give a
Lena.
shit. Like it sounds funny, like me thinking that, but I was like, oh man, am I gonna have time to get a sandwich?
Yeah, I guess it's so normal now. But even in the
Yeah.
beginning, you never were weird about it.
No.
It's never. I don't know. I like part of me like doesn't believe you're just not jealous at all.
I don't.
She wants you to be jealous. I see it in her face. She's
Well,
like,
she
it's
wants
just
me
so
to be.
weird. It's like never
I was-
even.
Hold on, I'm gonna give you some vindication. I was only jealous once, and it was for your showcase when Ramon made you squirt.
Oh.
And I had no idea how to do that, and I was like, fuck, I need to find out how to do
I can
that.
hardly make myself squirt. It's like a whole thing. It
Yeah.
doesn't work. It does.
It's-
It's not real. I'm sorry.
girl's
Porn
different
makes
with
it
that.
seem like
Yeah.
it's like this like.
Oh yeah.
But guys can hit with their, like the finger thing.
Yeah.
So someone did that to me on set, and I was like, so like, oh my god, I squirted, because I was like 3 years into
years
porn,
in.
4 years into porn, and I finally like squirted, and I was so excited. And I do remember him like doing that to me, and like he went and Googled.
I Googled it. I Googled and I watched the trailer and I was like, I'm gonna figure out how to do
Did you see any improvement?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
it works.
He knows. Yeah,
It
he knows how to do it. But it's like so vigorous that it's like unless.
It's really violent.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like.
It looks. I don't know if it feels uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but
it
looks
fucking hurts. I feel bruised inside.
I mean, I've
afterwards.
seen Adriana Chechik on our
Yeah.
couch in our home just going crazy on that thing, and then it just
Yeah, see, I worked with her to do a squirt show, and the only time I could actually squirt was when I was standing, because I was like, I don't know, being on your back and trying to like pee is kind of a
Yeah.
hard way to fucking pee.
Well, I can't like I get such like I'm
Shy
so
bladder.
yeah I'm like such not a shy person, but as soon as like I try to like even squirt, like if me and you are just doing like a content, I can't pee. Like I get like a shy bladder.
Yeah.
Like my body won't let it happen.
It tenses up. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. It doesn't come naturally to just start peeing.
Some girls can just let it go. Like Adriana's insane.
she's the squirt queen as
Yeah,
far as I
for
can
sure.
tell. Yeah.
I know. Remember, we all went. We had a 5-way or 4-way blowjob with my husband. We went to Adriana's first, and it was right before a Cardi B concert. And I was like thinking,
course.
I know.
Best way to prep for that.
So I was like thinking, like, okay, like maybe I'll get a little spit on my face. And then when I got there, I was like, oh my god, I booked content with Adriana before a concert. Like I was thinking maybe my hair would still be good and like my eye makeup would be fine.
No.
I'm like, I'm gonna be covered in squirt. So I just was like, can you just squirt on everyone else and I'll lick it up?
We walked in and
Save
Adriana
the
goes,
makeup.
"Girl, do you want to squirt?"
I know. I was like the first question. I'm like, at a concert.
Wow.
But it was fun.
Did you guys intentionally both rock camo today?
No, I told him, I was like, you're matching. We took a picture in the car. I was like, oh, we're matching. He just got this hat, right?
You look
Yeah,
like you're in the
yeah,
same
that's right.
dance troupe.
Yeah. We're a crew.
Her crew.
Like behind Cardi B, like you guys are just like dancing while she's rapping and shit.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. We need like one more though. No, you just need to be rocking some camo.
I got it.
Let her nips out.
Demonetized.
What are your questions,
you might
Lena?
want to look at that before you put it out.
Hit us with more with your questions.
I remembered my questions as we were going, so I don't have that many on here. But
Okay.
Oh, there are questions that you came up with.
Because you've
yeah.
been pouring over the book. You read it all in a day.
I did.
You self-published this?
No, so it was really funny. So I was like applying to all these agencies because I had no idea how to publish a book, but I Googled it and it was like you find an agent and then your agent will bring your book out. So I was contacting a bunch of people, and in the back of one of my favorite books, she thanked who is now my publisher, but I thought it was an agency. So I went and had a meeting. They liked my book and they had a meeting, and I went there thinking they wanted to be my agent, but they were like, no, we want to publish your book. And I realized I'm at a fucking publisher's, like, oh my God. So I skipped the step of having an agent.
Wow.
I went and met right with the publisher, and they just really believed in my book and they liked it. They said it went with like, because the first book I read was another porn memoir that I found them through, but I thought she was thanking her agent, but she was thanking her publisher.
Oh.
So yeah, they published it, and when I was writing it, I had no idea if it would get published. Like I kind of thought like this is probably like something maybe I'll give my daughter like when she's like 20 to read, and like so she knows my whole life story.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to have it regardless of if it comes out,
Right.
you know? Yeah.
And I wrote it like when I was pregnant and I wasn't working or anything, so it was kind of like I had nothing else to do. And I wrote it hoping, but I wouldn't, like it's still surreal to me that like my book is going to be in Barnes & Noble when you walk in.
Wow.
Yeah, but I had him, he was deployed, and I was like, I think I want you to write in my book too. So like the very last chapter is Alex wrote, and it's just like addressing like how can I marry a porn star? Like how can you do that? And yeah, I remember like when I was like reading it, I was like, oh my God, you're perfect.
That's
I
tight.
forget sometimes.
So are you, how big are you going on this? Are you going to do like dates promoting it, or like what's the plan?
Yeah, I know August 13th, I'm doing like the first official book tour, or the first book signing in LA. But then I'm booking feature dancings around the country, so I can do like a double of like book signings at a bookstore before my feature dancing. So yeah, I want to do like a little book tour.
So wait, Barnes & Noble will let you like do a book signing as a porn star? They don't have anything against that?
I guess not.
That's
yeah,
dope.
yeah. But they're like, my publisher knows a bunch of like bookstores in little cities and stuff. But yeah, it seems like everything. I couldn't believe like it's on Target's website, so it's gonna be in some Target stores.
That's so cool.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like I figured like if I ever got published, it would be like me putting an ebook on Amazon,
Yeah.
something like small like that. Like this whole thing is just crazy to me.
Wow, that's super dope that you're doing it so official.
Right? I thought like no one would take me seriously because of
I
what
really
do.
enjoyed it, I don't think it's because I know you. Like I was trying to figure that out, but it's like we both read that Jenna Jameson book too, you know, and it's like I was just as interested in yours, and it's like super good. And actually, you just triggered my other question. You're going to dance in the strip clubs, but they don't trigger you?
No, I mean, it's kind of hard. It's more so like if I was like a house girl like dancing, I feel like that would be triggering to me. But I know I'm there to do like my 2 shows. I go on stage, do that, and then I get to be like kind of like in my own little bubble. Like we went on feature dancing when I was like newly sober, and it was like kind of triggering. But like my main thing is like alcohol doesn't. I can be around people drinking now, like that's fine. But like if you guys had like a line on the table, I'd be like, like that's my thing. Like if I can't see Coke at all, like that,
Really?
that's like my one thing. Like I have to get the fuck out.
So if you see some guy doing a bump in the corner, it's like
I'm gonna
you
be
start
itching.
sweating. Really?
I'm gonna be itching. Yeah. Remember I did that photo shoot where the guy put Coke on
yeah.
the dresser, and the whole time that's all I was thinking about that he was doing Coke.
Like you can't even watch Narcos.
Yeah. If I see someone
It's
snorting,
bad.
I'm like skipping a
Like,
little
she
itch.
starts-
So is AVN like hard for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. AVN is always like the hardest time. It's not like I'm at a
People do
point.
Coke there?
You know, once
It's
in a
when you
while.
got. It's
I
when
don't
you
think I've
decided to
seen
get
it.
clean.
One
which
person.
might happen.
One guy.
One guy.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that was the last place I ever did Coke was at AVN. That one, remember that last night that we went out with the boom, and I never did anything after that time. But like now that I have my daughter, like it gives me a reason. Like well, I don't even consider it anymore. Before her, like it was in my head, like oh I could do it, you know. But now it's just like solid. It's more so like not that I feel like I'm gonna do it. It just really gives me like that weird itch, like where I start fantasizing about it. But alcohol doesn't give me that.
Yeah, I remember when we went to do the 5-girl orgy. I was super nervous because I'd never worked with a bunch of like legit girls, and so
You were
I
drunk.
I brought some tequila with me, and I was like, "Is it okay if I drink around you?" Like I wasn't sure. She's
It
like,
was
"No,
so
it's fine."
cute.
I just wanted to be conscious
I
because
loved that you
I wasn't
asked.
sure, but I was like, "Oh my god."
I filmed that, and it was odd.
And you also thought that when we were begging for the cum shot that it was for you. Do you remember that?
No, because
That was the really funniest
Listen to this,
thing
guys.
ever in my life.
let me speak to my audience. So I show up to film a 5-girl orgy, and Lena had made it clear. She's like, I haven't asked the girls if they want to hook up with you, but I'm assuming that some percentage of them are going to want to whatever. And then at one point, so they're all naked, they're all hooking up on this bed, and I'm just hanging out filming it. My dick's hard as a rock. It's kind of weird. And then they go, okay, so now we're gonna do one where we're all begging for your cum, and you're filming us, and it's like we're just begging you to just come all over our face. So I'm like, shit, all right. So I took my pants off. I thought that you guys like, I don't
We were
know.
talking to the hypothetical viewer.
I know, but I wasn't.
Make this real.
I didn't know that that's a thing in the Snapchat girl world. Is that they'll do one where they're just, oh, give it to us, yes, and like that's.
Adam's like, I'll give it to you.
Asking you.
I forgot about that. That was
It was
funny.
like I was like embarrassed for him, but also thought it was the funniest, cutest, most adorable thing ever. Because I've never done stuff like that either. It's like a lot of like one of the first girls I went to work with. She's like, "You want to do jerk off instructions?" And I was like, "What?
Yeah,
What the
it's a
fuck
different
is
world.
Jerk off instructions, and you just tell the guy like
The
how to
funniest
masturbate
videos
to you,
ever.
and like then you tell him to come, and I knew that you were really.
Wrap your hand around your penis.
She has one.
What?
A what?
A cock?
You're slowly by slowly.
Oh my God, no, stop
I
it.
have to.
I like on Brazzers, like they made me do a 10-minute video on how to
10
give the
minutes.
perfect blowjob. So I was like trying to be all sexual. What'd I say? Like slowly
She's like,
by
and
slowly.
slowly by slowly.
It's just like the most embarrassing, like cringy video I've ever made.
It's amazing.
That's amazing.
So good.
Oh God.
I think the great thing about having a book though is just that you can sell it. It's like a good long-term selling thing. Like you could still definitely be pushing it in 5 years.
Right.
And that's very different than a lot of stuff. Like with like music, it's kind of like you put it out and it's like if it doesn't blow up, then like everybody's forgotten about it like a year later, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And they already offered me like a second book. Like they're talking like they want to have a relationship with me putting out books like in the future. So it's crazy that like to me it's just like you're taking me seriously, like you know, like it's a weird feeling because I just still am like in my head I'm kind of like, oh, I'm just a porn star or like I just do porn, you know.
I think it's dope though, because like really at the end of the day, what's the difference between you and like Jenna Jameson? It's like she was just like a mouthpiece for the sex worker community, you know. It's like why not? If you can write a book, why not?
Yeah, it's a good feeling to like do something to make money other than like fuck. Because that's the only jobs I've ever had. It was webcamming, stripping, then porn. Those are the only jobs I've had.
And Subway.
Okay, yeah, I worked at Subway for like 1 week as punishment when I was in, because my dad owns Subways in the town we're from. So I remember when I got in trouble, he made me work at Subway for a little bit.
Holy shit. I think that working at Subway is a far more heinous act than any
Oh
kind
god,
of
that's a
sex work.
punishment if there ever was one. Oh, I hate the smell of Subway. I'm sorry to your dad.
And I was like the class slut in high school already, so everyone's like, oh, with footlongs, haha, like making little sex jokes.
I look down on anyone who eats Subway on a regular basis. Like, I really look at them with scorn and hatred.
We were just listening to Joey Diaz talk shit about Subway last night.
And I was so on board that it's not even
Her
funny.
dad owns Subway, babe. Let's be nice.
I know, and if you're in the business of Subway, cool. But like, you know, I know a lot of people who sell crack and they don't do crack.
Right?
You could
feel
own a
that.
Subway, just do not eat at the Subway. Go
feel
across
that.
town, go to Bossa Novas. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
So where are you guys at in your life right now? Like, anything new going on aside from the book, or what's up?
Trying to figure out how we're gonna do these feature dancing, because I want to go
yeah.
with him. Because first of all, like I feel like it's good to have like a security person there, but also
He
like,
looks like good security.
yeah, right.
People think that
Except now he's gonna be famous.
Oh,
like all the time. This one guy came up to me one time. We were at in like El Paso, and he's like, "Hey, how did you get this gig?"
Like doesn't know he's my husband or
I
anything.
like didn't know I was her husband. I was like,
But then
I'm
it's
like,
hard
I
because
get it,
the,
it's like
the
bullshit.
clubs that book me don't want like a boyfriend or a husband coming along because they're just gonna think he's there to like be jealous and like be over my shoulder and like monitor what I do. But I'm really like, no, he's dope. He's gonna keep me safe. Like he's gonna carry my shit. So I want him to come. But then we have a baby. We can't bring a baby to the strip club. So now we're trying to
Why
figure
not?
out how.
Turn up. YOLO.
"YOLO."
You know, my baby knows some Cardi B lyrics. I don't know if I should
Her
put that
favorite-
out there.
Her two favorite songs at the moment:
Money.
"Money" by Cardi B
And My Type.
"My Type."
Wow.
She goes, my type. That's my
So we-
type.
yeah.
Oh my god.
She's
that
not a
is
Lil
so
Nas
cute.
X fan?
No, she's not.
I feel like that's the biggest song with little kids.
I bet she would love that one though.
would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because my friend had his 4-year-old daughter in here the other day, and she said, "Play the horsies in the back."
Oh.
Oh my god.
So cute. Yeah. But that's like my struggle right now is like doing this, like which was never a problem before to like go travel and feature dance, but it's like with a baby. And it's weird because like I'm so attached to her. Like I miss her right now. And I just saw her like maybe like 2 hours ago. So like going out of town for overnights, it's like so hard for me because I just love her. And I'm trying to be the best mom I can, but like with my line of work, like I'm constantly always thinking like, oh my God, is she gonna hate me one day?
Like we
So-
brought her to AVN this year.
Wow.
Yeah, like I couldn't be without her for those. It was like 4 days. I'm like, I'm not being without her. So him and
So we
her
had
stayed
like
in the.
it was like dad and
She's
baby
not
in
gonna remember.
Vegas.
She's still young enough that
Yeah,
she
she didn't come
remember.
into the convention,
Right,
but she
yeah.
was just in the same hotel room.
She
and
didn't do a signing.
yeah, she didn't sign.
I think she'll be all right.
Because like I'd be walking through the Hard Rock with like a 2-year-old, very clearly a 2-year-old, and like all these performers that like knew her and knew me would like come and be like, "Hey, what's up, V?" and like give her high fives
Because they follow my
because
personal
they follow her
social
personal
media.
stuff.
Yeah.
But
So I don't write
That's super
anything
funny.
about my daughter on my Karmen stuff just because people are immediately like,
Oh, you have alternate social media. I didn't know that.
yeah. So I post literally my daughter's my whole life, and that's all I post on like my Amber stuff.
I don't exist.
That like, yeah, I don't
Ooh,
really
I
write
want to
about you
lurk
much.
that. I want to lurk your real account. That sounds
Yeah,
interesting.
everything's private just because like my daughter, I don't want them to be like nasty.
Mm.
But anytime I do like if I like mention someone like Tiana Trump was like, I want to have a daughter one day, and I like retweeted and I said that was like the best thing of my life, like having a daughter. And then the fucking roasting me, and they're like, well, your daughter don't love you. Your daughter's not gonna want love. Is she gonna be
Everybody
a porn
loves to
star
say
one
shit
day?
like that.
Yeah. So I just like deleted it and I don't mention anything about it just because I just don't even want, and I don't want to put her on my platform either.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Tiana Trump's ready.
No. I love her though.
Because like,
I like her a lot,
we
too,
want to
but-
have kids in like a couple years, so I was
I
like,
know,
I was
dude.
like trying to find a different Instagram name. I'm like Lena the mom. I was trying to go like save one,
Cute.
but then we were looking at Britannia, and Britannia like puts all her kids on her page, and we're
Pornhub
like,
clothes.
yeah, I'm like, I guess
What?
it can be done. Like it's not that impossible, but it is still
No.
weird.
It's edgy.
Well,
It's
Carly
edgy,
posts
for
pictures
sure.
of her baby on her Carly thing, like, but I feel like I almost feel like with a boy, it's almost different. I don't know. I don't want them to sexualize my girl.
like you're setting your
You know what I
girl up for,
mean? Like, I just
like,
don't want to post
smash
any
in high
pictures
school?
of her. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I think it's like if you feel like you can handle it, then you should do it. In the sense that, like, if you can't handle having your appearance made fun of, then don't post pictures on the internet. If you can't handle your kid, people talking shit and making terrible jokes about
Yeah,
your
see, I
kid,
can't.
then don't post your kid. You know, that's like basically what it comes
Yeah.
down to. Because you know the worst possible shit people could say is gonna get said.
Right, exactly.
At the same time, though, well, I agree with that. I don't know. We don't know how V's gonna feel.
Yeah.
Down
Like,
the road.
she could be
So,
like
like, if,
totally like dope, like awesome.
She could be
mom.
super dope and be like, "Cool, thanks for posting me on that," or she can be like, "Mom, why the fuck did you post me on that?"
That's why I didn't do
You know,
like
so
Prego
it's like a-
fetish.
yeah.
When I was
Right.
pregnant, I was like, I could have made so much cash off that, but you know, I don't
We
want
did
her
a
to.
couple of the
Yeah, I
the
just didn't
milk
want her to be able to like Google and like be like,
Yeah.
oh my god, you were doing this when I was in your belly.
Yeah.
So
That is a weird thing. Like people who have YouTube channels where they just like promote their kids like crazy, it seems like it's all good, but then like, you know, kids go through awkward phases, you know, and it seems kind of cruel almost to like.
We
sort
all
of-
look at. Look at Kylie Jenner. She had her awkward phase on TV, and look at her now. It's gonna
yeah,
be fine.
that's so true.
No, just fine.
I
Yeah.
guess it's a gamble because like you know you put
I
your
mean,
kid out
we
there
plan
like
on
that.
putting our kid on YouTube. So I mean,
Yeah, but he got to pay his
YouTube's
rent.
different.
You know,
You
from
gotta pay
day
his
one,
rent.
you're paying your rent. We're
why are you
making some
assuming
mad
it's gonna be
money.
a he?
Or he or she.
Adam's gonna put it back in. He said it was a
No,
girl.
yeah. This is like China. If we have a girl, then
Oh, you would
No,
have like
girls are
such
not
a
allowed.
cute mini me. I could picture you guys both like rocking the same scrunchies.
You're not coming back from that one.
I'm more worried about the boy painting his nails.
Oh, we're painting his nails.
Oh god.
That seems like a thing that like you can't get away from nowadays. Is that all the boys are painting their nails, and I'm
I
kind of
mean-
freaked out by that.
Your nephews have their nails painted.
Really?
know.
I didn't even know this was a thing. Did you?
That's a
I feel,
little.
I feel old.
I know. I'm like, wait, guys are painting their nails now.
I don't know traditional gender roles. I'm kind of. I don't
yeah.
know.
By the time they're like 4, then they realize, like, oh, that's a girl thing. But until that age, just let them have fun.
I'm gonna tell him day one. Don't be a bitch. You're not painting your nails.
fucking kill you. Get out of here.
That's for girls.
Get out of here.
bitch.
I'm buying our son a dollhouse, and you better believe we're playing pretend.
Really? A
Yeah.
dollhouse.
That was
No,
the
I-
A
hardest
lot of
way you
times
could have
girls
possibly.
develop language better and faster because they make up these like imaginary scenarios in the dollhouse. So, I mean, you could do the same thing with like a train track, I guess. They can make up a scenario, but it's
Right.
a lot. The types of conversations they end up having because they're using like this house scenario is sometimes
Our
better
daughter
for the
does
development.
that.
When you were talking about your 7-year-old all-female orgy, I was thinking about the fact that when I was like 11 or 12, me and all my friends took the Power Rangers and the Barbies, and we put the Power Rangers in the Barbie dresses, and then we set them all up like have a big orgy, and I thought that was bad.
I was actually doing it.
Yeah, no, not that there's anything wrong with that.
I mean,
but
is it bad for 7-year-old girls to like?
We were saying
Be
that we were
natural
going
I
to
and-
think
practice.
it should be discouraged.
Yeah.
If I was a
mean,
parent, I would say no orgies.
No.
Stop.
Yeah. I mean,
7?
we were just like, we should practice having sex.
Oh,
For-
that's a little weird. I guess. Yeah, that's weird.
If I found
For
out
the
that
legal sex
if
we've
I
been having
found out
11
that my
years.
12-year-old daughter was doing that, I would be like upset. I would tell her, you know, I don't want to have that conversation. I think you could have that conversation, but I think you're supposed to discourage that. But
Did you
7
see
is
on Twitter
so
the
damn
guy
young.
who beat his daughter's ass because she was 12 and she had sex and he found out? I
He
don't know.
beat her ass?
He beat her ass and it was like on Twitter and all these guys in the comments were like, "That's what she deserved," and I'm just like,
Damn. There was a video of it?
I think so. I
He's
didn't
like,
watch
"Let
the
me set up my
video, but
camera real
I was
quick."
like,
You're asking to give her a friggin' mental disorder doing that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like,
You're fucking up her future sex forever.
oh, I mean, I just feel like, yeah, she's not gonna develop her thought process on sex. Gonna be all fucked up if you.
And then that's why people lie to their parents and they're not honest, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then
mean,
they fucking get pregnant.
you
at
got to find a
15
way to discourage it besides beating the shit out of her. You got to figure out a way
Like
to talk to her.
telling me I'll go to jail. I was fucking scared. I was like, all right, I shouldn't be doing that
Do you
anymore.
watch that show Euphoria?
No.
Okay, you should watch it. It's like, for me, it's a lot because it's like they're in high school and they're doing all this crazy shit that I didn't even know people doing in high school.
Oh.
But I feel like you can't tell your kids not to have sex. It's just like they're gonna in high school. Everyone's fucking doing
Just
it.
pray that they're ugly and then nobody will want to have sex.
I was
with
fucking ugly.
No way.
I was.
There was
No way.
a real threshold or limit. Like I would have been having a lot of sex in high school if there were more girls that wanted to have sex with me. The problem was that I was not really that attractive. So
You were tall. You had that going for you.
yeah, I only go so far.
Only
See?
so far. I was super awkward looking in high school. You can,
Dude, you got to look
attest to
up
that.
John Hicks on YouTube at some point because you look like a fucking buff ass version of this
John
dude that we're
Hicks?
all friends with that a lot of people out there know. But you look like the fucking mannish ass version of him.
That's
dude, I was
funny.
tiny in high school.
Really?
Yeah, when we went to his reunion,
Same height,
everyone was
like
like,
100
"Oh my god, what happened to you?"
Like same height, like 175 pounds when I played soccer.
Oh yeah,
the
soccer
string
players
bean.
are always super like lean.
I was string bean at Campbell Hall.
If you didn't start like working out and lifting, do you think you would have had a harder time getting or staying sober?
I think so because it was like my new addiction. Like it wasn't like I was just like casually working out. Like I was tracking every single calorie to make sure I get this many grams of protein, this many grams of fat, and like I had my whole work because I'm like obsessive about things. Like I have such an addictive personality that I have to have like an addiction about something. Like Fan Central is kind of like my addiction right now. Like checking the money, you know, like
Checking
in my
views.
thing. Like that's just my personality.
Mine is also addicted to that.
Yeah.
And who's addicted to their fucking YouTube analytics, huh?
Boom!
Yeah, I mean, it's also like there's a high you get from working out.
Yeah.
That is probably
Endorphins.
the same. But so would you recommend anyone like trying to get clean to pursue it?
Definitely. I would say use that as like a healthy addiction because I was definitely obsessed with that was my
You're
whole
obsessed.
life was
I mean-
just fitness, but it was a healthy addiction, so it was good. Like and it was the first time taking care of my body, and it felt good. And yeah, on the high, it's cool to like leave with the high, but you didn't just do a bunch of coke. Remember the first time he
yeah.
tried to take me to work out.
Oh my god, this is
I-
ridiculous.
I snorted like 3 Adderall, but I was thinking, I was like, it's just pre-workout. Like I did not have a concept that you could go do things without drugs.
Did I know that you did that?
When we pulled up, I was like, my heart is killing. I snorted a bunch of Adderall, and we
I
had
would-
to like try it again the next day.
I would rather
Yeah.
kill myself than snort 3 Adderall. That sounds deadly.
And then like to go work out, my heart. I was like, I knew I couldn't do it.
I'll never forget because I worked at LA Fitness when we went to LA Fitness, and so her check-in photo was she went to like a Big Sean concert.
Oh my
And got
ass
the
shirt.
shirt,
The
and so the
ass.
shirt is just from here up, and it's just says ass in like big
With my
letters.
money
I
signs.
was like, yep, there's my girlfriend. Like my boss sees this every time she comes into the gym. It's so funny.
I'm just me.
Just me.
That was so funny. Oh man. Okay. So
Get
I think
Karmen's book. It's
This
really
was
good.
illuminating. I think this is very good. I think this is exactly what they want. I'm actually really anxious to see what angle the comments go with in terms of talking shit about this.
Right?
Probably gonna get called a cuck.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Numerous
It's
times.
just, I guess that's just. Does it turn you on when you watch me doing it, or no? Is it just like that's her job?
It's like that's your job. Like it's not.
Yeah, because he's never
Any
been
sort
like
of,
you
like,
want to
ex-
see. It's not like in
Yeah.
a weird, creepy way where you want to see it.
Have them go around.
It's never like you're into it for like your sexual gratification. You're just like being supportive of me.
Right.
But I don't think a lot of people get that because no one would want their girl being banged by all these dudes.
I feel like it's good for the audience though because of the fact that they talk shit because it actually is hard for them to comprehend how this kind of relationships could work. So I think it's like actually going to be a really interesting experiment to see what everybody says because of the fact that they clearly are curious. Well, and I feel like your perspective on it is very respectable. That like nobody's going to be looking at it thinking like this guy's a fucking psycho, this guy's a tweaker. Like you sound just like totally like it just isn't that big a deal to you. It's like everybody.
Right.
I feel like they're going to have to accept like oh shit. I guess some people are different than me.
Yeah. I think I'm just wired different.
Everyone has a different threshold. Like I don't give a fuck about people looking at my girlfriend naked on Twitter.
Right. And some guys would be like so upset about that.
Well, a lot of people watching are really young and they're still in the mentality that like you have to be jealous over your boyfriend liking someone's photo. Like that's totally like a normal thing to them. So they can't imagine how you allow me to post nudes, you know?
Right.
Like it seems
Which is
insane.
crazy to me.
Everybody's got a different threshold, but then again, also a lot of girls would not understand how the fuck you could date a guy that comes on here and says some of the stuff I say.
Oh, I mean, I have, when we first started dating, I used to need to use my mantra all the time. I don't anymore because I'm just so used to it. But I was like, he's saying these things because he has a podcast and it's for the podcast, the humor of it, the entertainment of it. Like, you know, it's like, I was like, for
You're
the
so
views.
cute.
Like, I was just telling myself, like,
He's
there
doing
was
it for
one
you.
time you said something where I was like, this motherfucker. And I like texted you and he was high as shit, was not even paying
Oh
attention
my
to what he was
God.
saying. He's on live. He's like, some girl walks in, he's like, man, I really want to fuck that girl. Oh, shit. And I was like, excuse me?
I was just talking to my homie. She was hot. Whatever.
I know, but you were talking like the camera was off, but it wasn't. And I was like,
I don't see why that's a big deal. I feel like the
you
relationship-
apologized and you thought it was a big deal at the time.
okay, but
Don't
listen,
take it back.
The relationship that I'm in, that I'm the most comfortable in, is one where I should be able to say that a girl's attractive without.
That's true.
So I should be able to talk about my exes and the size of her dicks, right?
Sure, let's sail on that last one.
That's
It's
what I
one-sided
thought.
over there.
It's a
Yeah.
one-way street.
Everybody's got a different threshold.
I feel like I tell you everything about like details about dudes' dicks and like
Everything.
exes and like.
Sometimes a little too much. Not because I don't want to know or like it hurts me, but just
I
because
held
like,
nothing back to you.
Yeah.
What
you
would be
don't.
an example of too much?
Too much? I'm trying to think.
Like the one
man.
I always go to is the Lena Lopez telling me that a guy couldn't get hard on set, so she ate his ass out for 30 minutes while she was texting her boyfriend.
Oh, probably.
Any kind of fluffing type thing might bother me, to be honest.
Well, you don't like.
We know what
fluffing.
bothers you. It's a
No,
lot.
I don't. No, yeah, I don't like like it's.
So that's not.
I'm like always offended, and I'm like, this is your one job. Like just.
Just stay hard.
Yeah, but I do know that it is hard for guys to do that. It is a lot of pressure for the guys because
Yeah,
girls
any-
you can just be like. You know, you don't have to like really
There's
have
no
something-
outward showing of hey, I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think of like an overshare that you've.
I've told you like
Or I've been,
everything.
like,
I tell you
low.
about like everything I ever do.
Yeah. I honestly don't think. Oh, we'll like meet a guy that I've never like seen her perform with. I think it was like at Avian, like the first Avian that we went to. And you were like, oh, he has like a 12-inch dick. Like as I'm shaking this man's hand.
I'm
Like,
just letting you know, like
I'm
just
like-
telling you the backstory of
I'm
everyone.
like, thanks. He seems like a nice guy too. Like this is.
But you have to remember, my world is so much different than yours.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
what's normal to me, like I remember it was really hard for me once I like started having a personal life outside of porn to understand like you can't talk about anal sex at a table when there's other people around you. Like I'm just like in a different world.
I think the funniest thing was for me seeing like the difference, just because she's like so in her own world all the time, is when we were at Christmas with my parents
I know
and
you're
my
upset.
dad asked her what kind of music she wanted to play. Like thinking it was gonna be like some like Frank Sinatra Christmas music or whatever, like whatever her family plays back home for Christmas.
Play Tupac.
She goes, I don't know, 2 Chainz? Or
I
something of
said
that
like
nature. And I was
I
like,
said hip hop or
Hip-hop?
rap or something, and he just like
and
looked
he
at
looked
me
at
and
her
said nothing.
and then played like
Christmas
classical
music.
Christmas music.
Oh my god.
I didn't know what to say. I was trying to be
It was
myself.
the funniest thing. I
If
think
your
that
dad
was-
asked me to pick a station, God, I don't know what the fuck I would do either.
Right. I was like, hip hop?
My dad would never think like, oh, let's put music on.
No, yeah, your dad's definitely
You know
not
what
trying to
this
play
means?
music.
I don't think his brain's wired that way at this point.
But it's super cool because I think honestly going back to my parents have been like super accepting and like open and
Not at the
considering
beginning,
not at the
though.
beginning. My mom, I'll put you on blast for a second. My mom said when I wanted her, we were at dinner at a restaurant in the
time
Valley
ago.
a long time ago before we got married, and
She never met me yet.
she hadn't met her yet, and I was like, Mom, she's like, what do you want for Christmas? And I was like, I want you to meet my girlfriend. My mom looked me dead in the face and said, I will never meet that whore ever.
Hot take.
And
Yeah.
I said, all right.
And
bet."
you walked home?
I got up and I walked like 5 miles back to my car
Wow.
and then drove.
So
back
I was
home.
super scared of like, but now like
But now
we're
they're,
like
like-
best friends.
It's awful.
Yeah, we're like gal
They're-
pals.
it's
So they
so
accept me
scary.
now, and it's like I can talk to her about it more than I can talk to my own dad.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like she'll ask you questions about like work and how things work and stuff like that. I'm
But
like,
I mean,
"Mom,
I
don't
get
ask
it.
that."
Like you don't want your kid to marry a porn star. And then
Oh,
at
yeah.
that point, I was like still like my Instagram was like
well, and that's what
I
she
was
said,
not
too.
shy about I was doing drugs and stuff, and everything was like naked and.
But like that's what she said too. She's like, you were the first adult performer I've ever met.
Uh-huh.
Of course, I'm gonna have these kind of like preconceived notions
Assumptions.
about who you are and what you're about, and
My parents
live your
know
life.
something, but I think they just try not to think about it.
When we were
Yeah,
gonna
what
go
do
on
they
that
think you're-
vacation with your family before I ever met your sister or your mom or whatever, one of your sister's friends said like, is she gonna like dress appropriately around the kids? Like straight up ask your sister that, and I'm like, God, imagine if they didn't know how to dress appropriately around children. How weird that would be.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I used to be a nanny.
You come out in a tube top.
I honestly was scared about wearing this in front of your mom. I'm going to dinner with her after this, and apparently my boobs are coming out. So this hair.
Yeah, your nipple just came out.
So this hair's got to stay right here. I might go buy a cardigan or something.
Control yourself. You want a hoodie?
I literally texted my sister a photo of the outfit to make sure it was good for your mom.
It's cute. It's like florally.
I just think about one time I went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles with my mom, and that there was like a 400-pound black woman, and then my mom just kept like looking back at her and just going like, "That woman's boobs are so big." My mom was just like so interested in this woman having gigantic boobs.
I
I'm like,
said something to her about my boobs, and she couldn't stop giggling. She got so shy.
Aww.
She got so uncomfortable, and I was
What?
like, okay, maybe not.
My mom, you should bring this up. My mom, one time we were playing Scrabble, and she wrote the word cunt. And I've never, ever seen her laugh this hard. It was like 15 minutes of giggling.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Yeah, anyway.
I love her.
Enough mom talk.
I love her.
This is a segment that we call Mom Talk. We tell stories about our moms so that everybody thinks that we're actual people.
I love her.
Okay, well, I appreciate you guys. You got anything else planned while you're in LA?
I was gonna shoot some content. I don't know what we're gonna do tonight. Now I think we're gonna go see a movie or something. But
You
Lion
guys should
King's
just go
out.
stand out in front until you find some guy to just
Girl.
kid in camo pants to just do a scene with.
there we go.
There you go.
My
Yeah.
idea.
I'm looking for some. We saw little Tatianas walking around.
Oh yeah.
They were like 14.
Okay. Yeah.
You
All right, bye.
and I quote, "Oh my God, she has braces. Where's her mother?"
That's a thing though now. Some girls have fake braces.
Oh really?
'Cause dudes like
of
it so
teeny
much.
Porn?
That's gross.
I just
Yeah,
found
that's
out about
disgusting.
this.
That's not
It's
right.
super weird to me because you're looking at them and they look like they're like 25. Like they're dressed up like little girls, but you can tell they're not. And then they have fake braces. It's very confusing.
I've
when you
seen
first see
I've seen
it.
cam girls wear like pacifiers during their cam show. I'm like,
Oh my
oh.
gosh.
It's a race to the bottom. Ugh.
See, I could never do that stuff anymore having a kid.
Big
Like,
place, you know.
yeah, like even like stepmom stuff. Like I could never, if I was doing, I could never do a scene where I'm like a stepmom to like a girl or something now, just because it would just make me think of my daughter.
The dynamic's too weird.
Yeah.
It's too real.
It's like I see that there's I forget which company it is, but they do like the whole scenario is like in the psych ward sort of thing, and they're like fucking the patient, and
Mental
I'm like,
health.
Damn.
you know, as a psych major, I really just can't appreciate this.
Yeah.
It feels a little like
Categorizes.
too real and too weird.
You guys are making me feel bad about all that World War II porn I used to jerk
Shut
off
the
to.
fuck up.
No? Too much?
There's real World War II porn?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh God, I
Just
hope
kidding,
not.
but I hope not.
So many people
This
are
has
going to
been
look
no
it up
jumper.
now.
Dude, I used to hang out with a girl who like played Marge in a Simpsons porn.
You have hung out with a lot of girls.
Her whole body was painted yellow and shit. It was gross. I did not
That's
like
weird.
that. It wasn't hot. I'm like, who would be into this?
I remember I watched Family Guy porn once.
You
Yeah,
did.
she did one of them too.
Yeah, it was the dog fucked Lois.
Oh, that's deep. That's wrong on two
No, I
levels.
liked it.
I know you did. Oh,
Oh, Brian.
Brian.
That is what like Brian is just pining for Lois the whole fucking show.
Right.
So that actually, I would
makes
enjoy
sense.
watching it finally happen. Yeah.
Part of the canon of the show.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, you really got off to that?
Dude, like from doing porn for so many years, I'm so like watching regular
Her
porn.
search history
It's
is the
disturbing.
craziest
It's just
thing.
all different presidents.
I open her phone, and I open her phone, and I'm like typing something, and
God.
it was on Pornhub. I was like, whatever, let's just see what this is. The first thing that I found in her search history was like, what was it, like BBC gangbang dumpster,
They were
and I
getting.
was like, what in the
It
world?
was a garbage can.
It was a girl.
Oh my God, I just saw this on Pornhub. I couldn't click it. The girl was in the garbage can and she was giving a head in the garbage
But
can.
you were searching for you wanted to find dumpster porn,
Just
or you
like-
knew that dumpster
I-
porn existed and you wanted to go see it.
No, okay, so I saw this hot scene that, well, it's kind of fucked up that I liked it. But this girl was getting fucked in like this dumpster and like all these dudes were just like using her. And then I wanted to re-find that video like months later. I was thinking about it. So I was trying to find it. So I was searching and going through all of them. But then I like settled on one, like I think it was a dog fart scene where all,
It was.
like she was like on an upside down garbage can and then dudes were just like running a train on her.
Wow. You know, actually, the other day I had the weirdest experience because it was midday, girlfriend was gone. All of a sudden, I just had to get one out. So I've actually started like watching porn a little bit lately. It's weird.
What's your category?
Every
Yeah,
once in a
right.
while- No, okay, I'll tell you. I searched anal orgy.
Ooh.
Just wanted to see what would come up. And so I see the reality show, the Brazzers House thing.
Oh.
Don't watch any girls I don't like. I'll fucking kill you.
Oh no, there was definitely some girls.
I
I know who was in that house.
I
That's what I'm
skimmed-
saying.
It was weird for me because we know like half of the girls in
Yeah.
it,
Right.
and they're all. It's just like
It's
a
weird watching
freak.
people you know.
Right, and
You
I don't
love
mind
it.
that normally, but it was just
don't.
the fact that there were so many. It was such a free for all. It was so weird, and I was skipping through, so I didn't actually see it. But it seemed like there were like weird segments where they were like,
They sit and they talk, right?
I mean, or there's like, it seems like there's like events or like contests type
Yeah.
stuff. It was very strange, and because I saw so many girls saying like, vote me into Brazzers House for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, when the Brazzers House thing happens.
That's
But I
crazy.
love free for alls because it's just like I loved our 5-way girl thing because there was just like so much pussy.
There's a
Like
lot
you just
going on,
couldn't
yeah.
choose. Like I love
So
that.
much fake moaning.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so weird.
Don't call us out, babe.
Every single one of you
So
guys
much
just
fake
yeah, oh my god, yeah.
And then the camera cuts, and they're like, "Okay, what's up?"
But no, okay,
What
listen,
is
when
it?
I watch my scenes, I do be like, oh my God, I sound fucking terrible. But like in the moment, I feel like I'm being for real.
Yeah.
Like obviously you play it up a little bit, but like when I'm like eating your all or looking
the-
at pussy or girls eating me out, I'm into it.
Well, the scene of you and Rob from your showcase, as like all of the comments on Pornhub where she's getting like
Oh, God.
fucked in the pool,
Well, I
and like
had
he's
Rob
pushing her
drown me.
head underneath the water, and she's like screaming, and he shoves her head under, and like all the comments are like, "Man, I'd shove that bitch's head under too if she was screaming like that."
They
There's like 100
roast
comments, and I was
me.
watching, I was like, "Oh shit, you just got roasted."
Well, I sound disgusting, and I hate the sound of my moaning. I think I can never see my porn or the trailer with the sound on. I hate the sound on my porn. I
You
think
can't watch yourself having sex. You
I
always
can watch it,
watch
but I
like the
can mute
intro
it.
and like the
the trailer, but then I don't like to watch myself because I just like critique it all. I think I sound
What
like
a
a
life.
dying animal or something.
You know, I feel like this podcast could go viral. But the last podcast we did that went viral was when we had a couple girls on, and one of them was Violet Saucy, right? Was her name, right?
I think so.
And she was talking about how she wanted a guy to just shit all over her, and that went
To
viral.
shit all over
People
her?
are still talking about it. That clip is still going around because she's talking about like, yeah, I asked my agent. He said that I would have to go to Germany.
because they won't let you film it.
Yeah, because remember I did a scene.
She said she would make him eat clean for a week tour.
my
I'm like,
God.
no way. We're eating chili fries. Okay.
Ew!
You had that one scene that they couldn't release because it was like bananas.
Me and my
milk.
friends, this was back in like my crazy coke whore days, though, of course. We ate a bunch of bananas and chugged like a gallon of milk and did puke porn.
like
Bananas and
below
milk.
job.
Like it was just like we were, and then I remember I ate chicken nuggets before, and one of my friends, like I puked up the chicken nugget, and she picked up the chicken nugget, dipped it in the puke, and ate it.
Ugh. Porn, amazing things take place in this community. Let's be real.
Yeah, I've done some
Insane
weird
things
stuff.
happen.
Spiegler was talking about that the other day. I was like, you know, we'll be in the Uber and we won't even be thinking about the fact that this is weird for the driver. Everybody's talking about douching their asshole.
Right? It's such a. You get
You
so
forget.
normalized to everything.
I mean, Spiegler is like the Uber driver though, because he doesn't really like know or care that much about anything that actually happens on set. He said he hasn't been on set in like 20 years.
Wow, yeah.
That's crazy.
He's like the OG though.
Facts.
Is it hot or it's just me? I'm very hot.
It's you,
You're
girl.
hot.
It's hot.
You're
It's
smoking.
because I started talking about the Brazzers House.
Maybe.
I didn't really.
I don't
jerk
even know
off
if that
to it.
person that I hate is in that house. I just got mad because I just was thinking about it.
No, honestly, I just started looking at it and just started like I wasn't jerking off to that. I was just
Curious.
looking at it because it was like the reality show thing. I was like, I want to see what this is like. I didn't really have it in me to watch almost any of it for more than like 20
When I've
seconds.
watched porn with you, this is how it goes. We decide what we're gonna watch. There's like 10. You look over like every couple minutes, and then you fucking close the screen, and then we continue fucking. So it's
but-
very minimal actual watching.
Yeah, but when I jerk off to porn in real life, like without you there, it's just like 2.5 minutes of me fucking jamming on my
Right.
dick.
Jamming.
And
Furious,
I
violent masturbation.
scream at the top of my lungs
I love
like a
when
tea
we
kettle.
when we go to watch porn together. He grabs my phone. He doesn't even ask me what I want to watch. He just automatically writes interracial gangbang. you already know my category.
And then I'm going, but the best part is I'm going through it and like still trying to like retain like the mood. And she's like, No, I already saw that one.
It
I'm like, how about
says
this one?
watched on
Yeah,
it. Go
all
on her
girl,
like
Watch.
Watch.
But you
It's
know what
like-
is so bad with me too is that the only time I've spent money on porn in like my entire adult life, but like the last like 10 years, was we got a black membership just because a girl that we know, we had a fucking bunch of dudes running through her and we wanted to watch it, and then we never
watched it,
never
but
got around
we
to
should watch it because I do want to watch some of their scenes.
Yeah.
That's my category too.
There's something about it.
Really?
I'm just kidding. I want to see what he says. Like, babe, I'm into blacks only.
No, but I understand the black perspective that like there's something about watching a girl get rammed through. by,
I'm
like,
more
a
about the
NBA
scenario.
team.
Like, like obviously the guy being attractive does make a difference, but it's like the scenario. One time I was watching a black scene and it was like they were having like some party that looked really fun, and then it turned into a giant orgy. And, like that was
Right.
like a hot concept.
Nothing but a gangsta party.
Yeah. Obviously, Jason Love was in it.
Really?
Jason Love.
He told me once, he's like, I'm on your no list, huh? I'm like, everybody's on my fucking no list.
If you have a penis, you're on my no list
Yeah.
right now.
One time, Trippie Redd called me gay because I was at a party and Jason Love showed up, and I was with Trippie Redd, and I introduced, just like what you were saying before, I introduced Jason Love to Trippie Redd. I go, Trippie, this guy's got the biggest dick you ever seen. Trippie just looks at me, he's like, you gay as hell, man. He's like, what the hell is wrong? He was really offended.
It's just facts, and it's true.
At the end of the
Props,
day,
Jason.
exactly. It's like it's such a freakish attribute to have that it's it would be like if you had fucking 3 vaginas. I'm gonna introduce you to the
Right.
homie and be like,
I
you got
mean,
3
he's
vaginas.
such
It's
a
big
massive
deal.
human that if he didn't have a dick that big, it'd be fucking weird.
It's
It'd be like
so
that,
big
like-
in real life though. Like I knew it was big, but like when we were about to start blowjob and stuff, I looked at it, I was like, holy shit.
It's not going anywhere.
Look at that cannon.
I was like, that has to go in my ass.
I
I'm
met
scared.
him and
Oh my god. I was like,
I met him and thought he seemed like a fucking pretty normal guy, and then I looked at his Twitter and he's out here with like a Poland Springs bottle next to his cock, just like he's like wake up in the morning, just like, damn, I got a big ass dick. That's how I picture his brain working in the morning. Yeah.
It's like yes.
So funny.
But
Jason gets talked about this podcast so much
Oh,
on
it's
this
so
podcast. You
gay.
have
It's
to
so
get him
gay.
on
You
here.
have to get him on here.
oh yes, we got to.
He's a cool dude too. Like he like is all into like poetry and like reading and
Really?
yeah, and he has like a normal life and like a family, and he said that he's like super well off and he got into porn just because he's a pervert.
Wow.
Like he didn't get into it because he's like, damn, I need to make money. Like he's like, I'm just doing this because I want to fuck.
Right.
And he has like a normal life thing in Louisiana with like his daughter and stuff. Like he's
Wow.
super like dope. He just wants to fuck.
We got to get him to come through with some fucking girl that he's just ravaged, so she can talk about the damage that was just under her vagina.
I don't think a
Not
girl
you.
wants to get. Well, yeah, it's clearly not me. But
My shit is wrecked.
if
Let
my
me
shit
tell
was
you.
fucked up, I'm not trying to go be on a podcast. No offense.
just to walk in as an advocate, he's like, yes, this guy got a monster.
Oh yeah,
He
I've definitely
wheels her
been
in.
around girls who are like, "Oh my god, please book me with Jason Love again." Like talking to people, I'm like, "Oh, okay,
You're like, I want to find out.
no."
Give me that thing.
My booty hole was a little ruined.
Hey
I
baby,
can't
if
lie.
you ever want to get more open-minded, maybe. But
Ooh.
I'm gonna get it after
Put me
this,
to
you
the
guys.
test. She covers the microphone like, what do you think this does?
And still speak directly into it.
Oh my god! All right. Well, hey, that was
Buy
but
Carmen's
fun.
book. That's all I want to
Yes.
keep
Yeah,
saying.
you can
Buy her
go-
book.
What's the easiest way to get it? Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon. I mean, even if you just search Karmen Karma on Amazon or Karmen Karma, my book's called Overcome, and it's on Amazon. I think you can get like the audio version, the ebook, or the hardcover.
Did you read your own book for the audio version?
Dude.
Yeah, it was
You
really
did.
it was really hard.
It takes like a week or something, right?
It took like I think 4 days, but it was like in there all day long, just like killing it. But it was hard. It was harder to read it out loud than it was to write it.
Really?
Yeah, like certain subjects, I was like, oh, I do not want to do this chapter. And then when I had to read your part out loud, that's what like made me super emotional.
Did you cry?
No, I don't cry.
No, you don't.
Reading a book, that must be like when rappers are in the studio and they're just like, they got their engineer and they're just punching in, and just every time they mess up, they got to redo that line, and you're just sitting
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I had
That's
to keep
hilarious.
redoing different like words. I was like, how do you pronounce this properly?
And the guy's like, you wrote it. What do you mean? How do you pronounce that?
I was using big words and the
Like, yeah,
thesaurus.
Reddit never said it.
Yeah, don't you got like a dictionary.com app or something?
Yeah, so I'm like trying to sound all smart, and then I'm like, fuck, I have to read this shit. But it was fun. It was fun. It's so cool. Like everyone's sending me like the screenshots on social media, and it's just like, it's weird that like my book's out there, and then it's weird. I'm like, you guys actually want to read this? Like I wanted Lena to read it because I'm like, this is the only porn girl I know that reads.
I hope that's not true. I was just gonna say I recommend you guys get the hardcover because there's like 8 pages of photos and they were really nice to look at to see like where you were. It's such a happy ending too that it was just such a great story to read because the whole time I'm like, oh my god, this poor girl's in trouble.
Yeah.
And at the end everything's great. So
Picture this. I walk backstage at one of our shows in London, and you got on one side of the room, you got rappers snorting ketamine, and on the other side of the room, you got Lena curled up reading a book.
Oh, that's adorable.
So funny.
Lena,
I
you
didn't
so
know any of the words to the song. I want to read the book. Okay?
That's so cute.
That's adorbs.
I'm glad that you read it.
Oh, I loved it.
Yay.
Okay.
Coolest podcast in the world. Available on iTunes, Spotify,
YouTube.
YouTube,
SoundCloud,
SoundCloud.
iTunes. Now I say like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, do it.
Turn on your notifications.
Turn on notifications. Ring that bell.
Motherfuckers.
Follow me on Twitter, Adam22, Instagram, Adam22. I don't say these things because I just assume that they've probably already done it, but I guess it's good to remind them, right?
Yeah, all the time.
Interact with me on platforms. Interact with them on platforms, not him so much.
No, I'm super.
We
bored.
post nudes, so you're going to want to follow our Twitters.
18 plus.
He's not trying to get followers. Editor, don't go hunting for his ad, right? Do we have your consent to not tag you? Or is that the plan?
Yeah, he doesn't need to be tagged.
Right.
It doesn't matter either way, but
I don't care either way.
Okay. It's lit.